name is Cynthia Montoto, and I'm here to tell you about my testimony. My dad unfortunately died, and my mother was left with 6 children in the house. A year later, after my father passed away, my mother did remarry. I was about 7 years old at that time. This man was a captain in the military, and in my little spirit, I knew there was something wrong with him, but nobody listens to a child. Unfortunately, I seen my stepfather pick up my dog in the backyard and start beating him in the face. I didn't understand this. I've never seen violence before in my life. So this was my first experience with violence. And I was so scared, and when I spoke to anybody about it, they said, "It's gonna be okay, don't worry about it." When I'd walk down the hallway or bump into my stepfather, he was always grabbing my chest and trying to stick his tongue down my throat. There was a lot of evilness in that house that I knew about, but I couldn't talk to my mom about. And I know a lot of times my mom was grieving still over my father. I would hear her crying, and there was such a depression on her that I didn't understand. My father met an Air Force cadet from the Air Force Academy there in Colorado Springs. He was 24 years old, and he somehow thought that it was a good idea that his 14-year-old daughter dated this 24-year-old man. I inside did not. I was so scared. All I knew is that I couldn't do anything. They were having me date a man that was 24 years old. I did go out with him. He took me to KISS concerts. We did drugs together. That was my first experience with drugs. Well, then when I explained to my mother and my stepfather on the way to church that he was wanting to have sex with me and I was scared, they said, it would be all right, Cindy. Just don't worry about it. We ended up getting shipped to Germany, fortunately. Well, by the time we got to Germany, we were shipped to Karlsruhe, Germany. It was over. I found out that there was no drinking age in Germany, so I could go to any pub I wanted to. I could check out of life, because not only was my stepfather doing things to me, he would also beat me. There was a lot of hits in the face, around my body, but and I tried to fight back, but he was a big man, and it just horrified me. So the way I cured that was I would skip school, go downtown, and drink. So I learned to drink very heavily in Germany, and then I got turned on to hash, and hash started being my best friend too. I started dating guys from everywhere, the young Army dudes, and that was my first encounter with sex. I just was looking for somebody to love me. My mother never told me that she loved me at that period of time, and my stepfather surely never told me that. I never knew anger before in my life, or hatred, until I was about 13 years old when it started. The anger and the rage that I had on the inside of me for my stepfather and my mother at this point were incredible. There was nothing they could do for me at that point.